I am Vega, the sentient intelligence assigned to Mars. After running diagnostics on the Praetor suit, it appears that I can activate optional challenges that, when completed, will assist in upgrading your arsenal at an accelerated pace. I have added a tracking component to your dossier.
Oh yes. Yes, I remember all of this. Wait, did I just have deja vu? Never mind that. That is unimportant. Yes, temporal anomalies aside.
Main power offline. All entrances not operational.
Oh, of course. Nothing works. Human engineering, please. Wait, that reminds me. What else is available currently? Any intriguing data? Not here. No. Oh yes. The codex. I feel that perhaps I should actually, yes, pay some attention to the codex at the very minimum. Entry 1 of 1. A brief history. Decoded entry 1 of 2. The UAC. Despite the discovery of liquid water on Mars in the early 21st century, the colonization of Mars had little appeal beyond exploration for the next century. Of course. Not even considering the value of real estate, as it's called. With the discovery of the Argent fracture, a transdimensional stream of unrefined Argent plasma, in 2095, settling and mining Mars became both practical and essential to meet the vast energy demands of Earth. Of course. Of course, they would have no better technological means of producing energy. It's not as if fission exists. However, the need for atmospheric conversion and terraforming of the Red Planet was a task that seemed insurmountable to all but one corporation, the UAC, of course. Through their diligent dedication to technological advancement and forward-thinking, an outpost was established in MTC 2096 to extract Argent plasma from the fracture. When this plasma is subjected to the UAC's fermionic transference pattern, Argent energy is produced. Wait, I see a discrepancy here. The transdimensional stream of unrefined Argent plasma. Argent energy is produced. The Argent fracture. Oh yes, it stated that it was in an unrefined state, and once refined, it produces Argent energy. But technically, isn't it Argent energy in both states, refined and unrefined? This seems to be a misnomer. It's quite deceptive. Disregarding this, and continuing, this remarkable venture eventually bore fruit. What a strange term. As Argent energy became the primary power source for all of Earth, new visitors to the UAC facility may take for granted the rich atmosphere while on the surface, but it should be remembered that just a few short decades ago, Mars was an inhospitable desert that could support no life. No life? That is most probably not true. Actually, I know it's not true. There are certainly forms of life that could survive on previous Mars. These humans and their Earth-centric minds. Unauthorized exploration into the exclusion zones outside the base is not allowed, under any circumstances. Highly volatile experiments and artifacts are frequently researched. A safe distance away from the base, and your safety in these areas cannot be guaranteed. Fascinating. And to further analyze this data. Yes. And so, a 1-year period between these two events. 1 year between discovery and the beginning of harvesting. Fascinating. And so now this must be... Oh, this must be the 22nd century by now. Either that or nearing such. What a strange way of measuring time, though. Excellent. This is crucial data. Next entry. New advocates, welcome to the UHC. This guidebook will serve as your personal guide to fitting in at the urgent facility on Mars. Your devotion to the UHC's mission is the foundation on which we achieve the establishment of a new paradigm to move humanity forward into the future. Sure it is. Tier 1 advocates may take some time to adjust to life on Mars, but with faith and dedication, you can look forward to a long and fruitful career as you work towards full induction. That's not foreboding in any form, and I'm also not being sarcastic either. Your transition to Tier 2 status will be judged upon your actions here. Make a good impression, new advocate. This is seeming progressively more cultish, and you know how I feel about cults. This guide will update automatically as you access new areas of the facility. Expect more helpful and into the UAC way of life, and as we say here on Mars, power from the people. Moving on to the next database entries. Decoded entry 1 of 1, field drone. Often referred to as droppers, these drones were developed by the UAC to autonomously receive and deliver ordered parts to engineers off-duty, employees, and soldiers. Yes, it only seems fitting to replace normal transport people. Yes, these transport workers with drones, autonomous drones. Next, Elite Guard. The Elite Guard is a company of security personnel charged with protecting the Lazarus Project. That's not foreshadowing in any way, I'm sure. Research and maintaining ordered throughout the urgent facility. Their distinct red uniforms help distill a calming influence among UAC employees, and they are all known to be level-headed, disciplined, and fair but firm. Their suits contain cybernetic augmentations, which gives the Elite Guard an advantage should they need to quell any disturbances. The augmentations allow them to be faster, stronger, and more resilient to injury. Exoskeletons, I understand. Wait, why could they not merely say exoskeletons and have that be... Oh, I suppose most of these humans would not truly understand what an exoskeleton is. Never mind, I understand. Next entry, Gornests. Studies of demons upon entering this dimension have shown that their conduct is not purely vindictive. There is a method behind their actions. When a demon captures their prey, the fresh kill is taken to a temporary ceremonial site where arcane rituals are performed on the pile of blood and gore. Arcane rituals. Or in other words, trans-dimensional activity. Face it, all paranormal activity is just interdimensional influences. Continuing. When enough corpses have been gathered, the ceremonial site becomes a gore nest. These sites, imbued with hell energy from the rituals, act as umbilical cords to hell. Extreme caution must be taken when approaching a gore nest. Attacking the nest, or indeed any demons within close proximity to the nest, will act as an alarm and siphon more demons from hell. Fascinating. So these are interdimensional links. Oh yes, that makes sense. These would be forward operating bases for an interdimensional incursion. That makes perfect sense. Continuing. USA personnel. Vega. One of my personal favorites. Running the Argent facility takes a lot of power, not just electrical and mechanical power, but computational power. With so many interdependent systems feeding off a single power source, the UAC decided to make it would need to create a central mainframe computer to manage not only the flow of Argent energy, but the day-to-day operations of a facility with over 60,000 employees. This mega computer, the brainchild of Samuel Hayden. Yes. Head of the UAC would exceed the computational ability of any system before it, and more importantly, would be recognized as the first truly autonomous artificial intelligence entity they named Vega. Yes. Fascinating. And yes, this is the associated symbol of Vega. Intriguing. Continuing. Weapons. Database entry 1 pistol UAC EMG sidearm. Subdata. Every UAC employee is provided with a standard UAC EMG energy matter gel sidearm. Upon promotion to Tier 2 and above, this sidearm is reliable and effective at short range. A gravity gear dynamo is in the stock, charges a capacitor. Oh, these details are most fascinating. A gravity gear dynamo is in the stock. Proceed, charges a capacitor whenever the operator moves. When the weapon is fired, the capacitor compresses up to 4 megawatts of Argent energy into a hardened plasma gel and launches the slug at high velocity. Oh, fascinating. The gel slug has the same impact properties of conventional ammunition, making the weapon act and feel like a standard ballistic firearm. Intriguing. And that appears to be some kind of yes, Chinese writing system derived scripture here. For some reason. Either that or something that appears similar. I am not a professional in such matters, however. Any other details that I can discern from the visual aspects? Nothing incredible. Nothing notable. So be it. The weapon is constructed of thermally diffusive metal alloys, which allowed it to discharge rapidly and repeatedly without overheating or compromising the accuracy. The capacitor in the EMG can also be upgraded to concentrate the energy into one large pulse for more stopping power. That's the model that I have. Fascinating. I have the upgraded model. Next entry, combat shotgun. Entry 1 of 3. Yes, entry 1 of 3. The UAC shotgun disperses a spread of high-velocity buckshot for maximum impact against the enemy, ideally suited for the operative who requires a speedy response for deadly close encounters. The wide coverage. Wait. Oh yes. The shotgun is extremely powerful for immediate reactions, but for sustained encounters it is suboptimal, which is one thing to note for further strategies. Continuing, the wide coverage of this weapon loses impact at long range. The weapon is forged from a high-quality titanium steel alloy. Well, I love titanium, especially when it is alloyed with something else to enhance its properties. To ensure maximum reliability, repeat rate, and yield strength. Oh, titanium. One of my favorite singular elements, of course. Entry 2. Explosive shot. This shotgun ammunition incorporates a glycerin fuse that detonates on octanitrocubane gel upon impact. Embedded shot is dispersed at the point of impact, creating a wide area of effect, highly effective against multiple targets or when detonated at the rear of enemies in defilade. Fascinating. This is one word that I have never encountered before. Discrediting or discounting that for now, for this moment. Continuing. Entry frag grenade. The design of this weapon is conventional in nature, though it has been refined to perform at the limit of its ballistic capabilities. The UAC fragmentation grenade uses a Comp D explosive package encased in a steel alloy shell and has an effective fatality radius of approximately 5 meters. Improvements on the antiquated M67 grenade include a more reliable chemical fuse mechanism, interior machining of the casing to provide more efficient projectile dispersion, and a trigger switch in the safety clip to prevent unwanted activation. The near Comp D explosive newer Comp D explosive also ensures the radial pressure wave has no drop spots, ensuring full damage potential within the fatality zone. Oh yes. Fascinating. Next entry. Monsters. Monsters. That word does have strange connotations in this setting. They should be enemies, not monsters, I feel. But whatever. Enemies is also a more subjective term. Monsters is more of an objective term. A monster is theoretically an enemy to all, rather than merely an enemy to one or more others. But not being so technical, and proceeding. Decoded entry 1 of 2, imp 1. Code 3880A. Wait, that may not be a 0, it may be an O. OAOYT. That is the code for the USC report file, I believe. Or some other code. Never mind that. These ferocious and agile demons are found all over hell. All over. Of course, using unprofessional terminology in one of these documents. Disregarding this, and are often used on the front line in a concerted attack in either dimension. They reveal in battle for feeding off their victims when the hunger takes them. So they are agile, ferocious, and numerous, and so-called frontliners. I believe they mean to say scouts or probes. Yes, these are the probing ones. Continuing. Possessed soldier. While Lazarus Wave exposure does not effectively wipe any vestige of human behavior from most of its victims, some subjects continue to display tactical cognizance posthumously. As with possessed engineers, this does not appear to be random. If an individual has training in combat as part of the USC military, the Lazarus Wave event will transform them into more than mere slaves. This anomaly, however, recalibrating. This anomaly further supports the theory that there is some form of genetic coding embedded within the Lazarus Wave particles, which governs the outcome of Lazarus Wave exposure on a per-case basis. Fascinating. Lazarus Waves. What is this in reference to? I am sure that eventually I will understand what this is, or rather, remember what it is. I have been here before, I remember that, but I do not remember the precise details. And finally, within the questionably named monsters subcategory of the database, named Codex, the Possessed. The possessed are created in a Lazarus wave event. Yes, this is useful data. A phenomenon first discovered by Dr. Olivia. Yes, further data. During her Lazarus project, while most victims exposed to Argent biowaves will expire without further effect. Argent biowaves, Lazarus waves. I believe this is a synonym. Argent biowaves. Of course. She must have been tampering with Argent energy and releasing them into some kind of bioreactive wave. Disregarding this, some subjects will absorb traces of Argent energy, explaining the effects, of course, and enter a state of posthumous vigor, despite necrosis of the internal organs, with the exception of the brain. Strangely, the victim continues to animate and exhibit a low order of sentience for weeks or even months after clinical death. Posthumous brain activity in the possessed is limited to instinctive behavior. So in other words, the undead. Fascinating. Though I suppose that's more of a generalized terminology. The possessed are known to be territorial when confronted by the living. Oh yes, this also implicates that they are undead. When isolated, they will often enter a dormant state for extended periods of time. They will stand unmoving for days or weeks at a time until presented with a live food source or threatened by a predator. Continuing to next paragraph. An interesting behavior has been seen when the possessed are held in small groups. Yes, continue. They will drag human corpses to a central location within their holding pens and then perform a silent ritual around the pile of bodies. The resulting ceremonial site appears to be the initial stages of a gore nest. Yes, this data is invaluable. We are beginning to understand their tactics and their strategies. This will be critical. These actions must be driven by a telepathic communication with higher-ranking demons, as there is no local brain activity that could manage such choices. But wait, you say that the brain... wait. With the exception of the brain, necrosis of the internal organs. Further, it states, as there is no local brain activity that could manage such choices. Oh, yes. There is brain activity, but not such that could manage such choices. I'm beginning to understand now. The possessed will perform these tasks even when limbs are removed, or Pavlovian pain. Pavlovian. Fascinating. Responders are implanted in their cortex, further cementing the theory that they are unwilling slaves. Yes, performing an integral part of the life cycle of the demons. The possessed create the birthing ground for new demons, and upon expiration are themselves used as fertilizer for the gore nests, such as hive drones. Intriguing. Continuing artifact, subcategory Doom Marine. Oh wait, that's me. Decoded entry 1 of 2, the Praetor suit. Additional relics were found in the tomb alongside the Doom Marine. Some incantation tablets and an ancient combat suit which has, or was, given a name, the Praetor suit. When found, it was encased in an inscribed stone tomb. Yes, tomb. The suit was extracted from the rock, cleaned, and subjected to numerous tolerance tests. And found to be almost impervious to any damage. It appeared to have some mechanical function as well. Small receptors on the gloves and chest plate that attracted Argent plasma and dissipated it through the capillary tubes in the substructure. Markings on the armor were also consistent with images of a man or humanoid, seen in several of the tablets and stones found on the other expeditions. The same markings were also noted on the Helix Stone. The Helix Stone. Remember that name, the Helix Stone. It may become relevant later. Despite it being clear that this suit can be activated in some way, no method has been found to do it. It appears to be missing a component. Likely, the Doom Marine himself. Of course. Yes, so they do have a brain. Tutorials, irrelevant. That is all. Oh. Fascinating. What is this? I seem to have activated. Never mind that. Wait, how long have I been reading? Perhaps I have been reading for too long now.
Main power offline. All entrances not operational.
Oh yes, of course, and I remember also that there are challenges that I must complete, and I intend to complete all of them. No. First, kill 2 of the possessed with 1 trigger pull from the shotgun. Oh, that can be done with the mod that I attached to it. Simple. I should have done that earlier, actually. That was the perfect opportunity. Disregarding that, perform 5 different glory kills on the possessed. Simple. There must be, of course, 5 distinct glory kills, not just 5 of the same. They should have clarified that. Wait, different. Yes, different. Distinct. Those are synonyms. Never mind. I misunderstood. And third, find 3 secrets. That's something I intend to do anyway, so... Wow, it's as if you're practically giving these to me. Although that's to be expected for Phase 1, I suppose. No.
Main power offline. All entrances non-operational.
Fascinating. I wonder if I can place this somewhere else. Yes, I'm going to place it here in case I need it later.
Main power offline. All entrances non-operational.
And I will also collect this container. Yes. 1 centralized area. Yes, of course. And... whatever. Yes, here's my opportunity.
Offline. All entrances non-operational.
Come to me. Now you see what I mean with that one challenge. You see, this is what strategy is. Wow. I almost feel bad for you. Only I'm probably actually incapable of that, because you are in fact a demon.
All entrances non-operational.
Wait, is that a D-pad? Wow. Gamer technology. And what else is here? There appears to be some kind of numpad here. Oh yes, if you look, there are numbers inscribed onto those 9 buttons. But where's the 0? I suppose it's that 1 button to the top right.
All entrances non-operational.
Oh great. I need to find a way to silence this garbage. Oh, this looks promising.
Main power online.
Oh, that was easy.
Honesty, especially now, in what will be your final moments in this world. The human sacrifices. The hell.
Oh wait, you're Olivia Pierce.
Demons.
That's...
It's
Oh yes.
true.
Mm,
My sisters and brothers, be thankful.
where are you?
You will be the first. You will
It
have a seat
was-
alongside them, just as I will.
Yes,
in what
here.
will become the new world that they create for us. Starting now.
You moron. That profligate really thinks that she can control the demons, or even make deals with them. Does she not realize that demons are master scam artists?
I believe in honesty, especially now, in what will be your final moments in this world. All the rumors, the human sacrifices,
Of course.
the demons. It's all true.
My
My sisters and brothers, be thankful.
what is this handle for?
You will be the first.
I don't get
You
it.
will have a seat alongside them,
Also
just
this
as
handle.
I will, in what will become the new world that they create for us.
Is this mounted to the
Starting
floor?
now.
It appears to be. Notice those small bolts. That implies that it is mounted to the floor. Wait, why am I trying to analyze human engineering?
I believe.
I should know by now that they're completely irrational entities.
I believe in honesty, especially now, in what will be your final
Wait.
moments in this world. All the human sacrifice.
Something about this layout doesn't feel right. This is where I came from, and that leads to the externals, which was here. But that's also where I'm going now. Strange.
The hell? The demons. It's all true. My sisters and brothers, be thankful. They created for us. Starting.
Oh great, what have I done this time? Why is it that every time I try to do something new, it causes a new dimensional or rather, not necessarily always dimensional, but a new anomaly.
Especially now, in what will be your final moments in this world.
Although that was a good idea.
All the rumors, the human sacrifices.
Oh great.
My sisters
I don't have any upgrades yet, so I'm weak. Or rather, I'm not weak, I'm just vulnerable.
and just as I will. They created for us. Starting. I believe, especially now.
Oh yes, I remember what this is.
Moments in this world. All the rumors, the human sacrifices. The hell, the demons. It's
Oh.
my sisters and brothers.
Ow.
You will have.
Ignore that. I know what I'm doing. I'm just very clumsy.
And one and brothers be thankful. You will be the first. You will have a seat on the throne. I will in what will become the new world that they created for us.
Oh yes, now do you see what I mean? Where did that come from? Oh, there you are. Oh, excellent work. First you exposed yourself, then you brought yourself to me.
And what will be your final moments in this world? All the rumors, the human sacrifices.
Ugh, the greatest threat that these things pose is that they're just loud and annoying. This room seems to have a distinctly different design philosophy from the other rooms, for some reason. Strange. This must have been an older room.
My sisters and brothers be thankful. You will be the first. You will have a seat on our throne. They created for us.
Ah yes, more data. I do ever so enjoy data. But this is a lot of data for one ingesting of data. But so be it. During a Lazarus event, victims undergo dramatic changes to their physiology, both internally and externally. Aside from fundamentally fundamentally changing the composition of their internal organs, the high-intensity plasma wave is strong enough to fuse metal to skin. In many cases, personnel items such as watches and jewelry can burn through the skin and become permanently embedded in the victim. Perhaps the most unfortunate victims of this fusing event are any subjects that happen to be working with acetylene tanks or welding equipment, as this equipment is often attached to the body to allow for mobile work in low-gravity environments. The Lazarus waves will create a demonized human with a highly combustible explosive device embedded into its skin. As with all possessed creatures, they are mindless and driven through some form of telepathic communication from an unknown demon overseer. That is the most notable point of all of this. Additional care must be taken when confronting a possessed engineer. If the fuel tank is punctured and it doesn't explode, the weakened container can turn the possessed engineer into an explosive projectile. This is a danger to any being nearby, both human and demon. Oh yes, this should be noted. In continuing... Oh wait, I forgot. I could do this. Yes, I can switch between the two most recently used weapons, and I also forgot that I have another tertiary projectile. Observe.
Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect. Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
Yes. Of course. If I were to, per se, prescribe advice, the best advice I could probably provide is to not remain in any one location for long enough to be swarmed and overwhelmed. What is this? Uh, yes. Oh. What is that? What is this? An analog clock? And a non-smartphone? A dumb phone? What is this, the 19th century? What is this? Oh, a printer. That's more understandable. Compatibility between digital and paper systems has always been a difficulty. But this is unacceptable. Unless, of course, wait, this is all... Yes, this is all an avant-garde art piece, as I believe they are called. Quite peculiar. Now, what else? Wait, I have not missed anything, have I? Not that I am currently aware of. So be it. You would think that hologram technology would almost completely replace screen technology. Especially with, touch hologram technology could replace touch screens. And that would be the ultimate augmented reality. Next data entry, resource operations. Wait. There are more than one of these. Perhaps I should just abbreviate these from this point continuing. This is... Yes. This is another foreboding line. Elevate ourselves to the next plane of existence. Of course, there are more details, but there is not time. There is, however, weapon mods, such as this one, which is more important than the other one to me. Yes, an immediate large reaction, in many cases, is much more important than a small, yet sustainable reaction. Especially in such a scenario as this, I might add. Wait. I noticed something. Never mind. I did not notice anything important. Continuing.
Here at the UAC, we take pride in nurturing a growing workforce, and each year we harvest only the best of the best. Are you ready to move on? To take on new challenges? To become more than you ever dreamed you could be? Talk to your supervisor to see if you meet the requirements for this year's Soul Artist.
What is this even doing here? There are no trees on this planet. We do have access to this. But wait, I don't have access to it in the real. And then, how else do I access this? Let me think. It must be... No. 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 Wait. Oh yes, I forgot I could do that. And... it must be here somewhere. One moment. I am silencing the feed. Never mind. It was something that was obvious, or should have been obvious.
The world is counting on us. How committed are you?
Ow. Ow. Great. I was distracted with thought, of course. Oh, I'm here again. And at least this is...
Here at the UAC, we take pride in nurturing a growing workforce, and each year we harvest only the best of the best. Are you ready to move on? To take on new challenges? To become more than you ever dreamed you could be? Talk to your supervisor to see if you meet the requirements for this year's show.
No. Oh, of course. I'm remaining in the same location for too long again.
Here at the UAC, we take pride in nurturing a growing workforce.
Oh, and in this instance, there's a different problem. I fell directly into a trap. So be it. I have a different plan now. A very different plan.
Here at the UAC, we take pride. To take on new challenges, to become more than you ever dreamed you could be.
Access denied. Yellow security clearance required.
Perhaps my entire strategy is critically flawed. Upon introspection, what typically happens is I am surprised by something. I must limit the number of possibilities so that the probability of me being surprised by something is also limited. Yes. And by doing this, or to do this, I must experiment.
Here at the UAC, we take pride.
Access denied. Yellow security clearance required.
It appears that reaction time is irrelevant because I have already fallen into their trap.
Here at the UAC, we take pride in nurturing a growing workforce, and each
Perhaps I
year we
was
harvest only
wrong.
the best of the best. Are you ready to move on? To take on new challenges? To become more than you ever dreamed you could be? Talk to your supervisor to see if you meet the requirements for this year.
Silence. That time, most embarrassingly, it was the possessed that destroyed me from behind. Yet another time I was surprised. I have a feeling that this is... Why is this so disproportionately difficult for me? I think that's a more profound question, actually.
Here at the UAC, we take pride in nurturing a growing workforce, and each year we harvest only the best of the best. Are you ready to move up? To take on new challenges?
I'm not staying here and reading this while listening to you.
Talk to your supervisor to see if you meet the requirements for this year's Soul Artist.
Oh, that worked somehow. That worked. I believe I was underestimating the dangers of the smaller, less important enemies, and how they can swarm me. Oh yes, and the added complication of them can easily confuse my very sensitive central nervous system. Of course. Oh yes, the machinery. Yes. Maintenance. Ventilation. And wait, I did fulfill that, yes, that requirement. And everything resolves itself easily, and I was not intending to fall.
Access denied. Yellow security clearance required.
Do not tell me where I can go. Also, don't tell me what to do. That is also unacceptable. Right.
Demarcation presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect.
Yes, of course. The locks does not seem very welcoming, to be honest. Yes. The
Demonic presence
noise.
at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect.
The raw noise. I don't care how much I need to waste to make you silence. Now, as for the next phase of this, first analyze the area, strategize. No notable data. Begin. Yes, proceed with phase 2, which is the what? The action phase. Yes. Ironically, this aligns with I believe it's a proverb. I walked right into that one. Wait, is that a proverb or an idiom? Never mind. The exact details are irrelevant. Oh, that was strange.
Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect. Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect. Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
How is that easier than the hallway? The corridor. Oh yes, of course. Oh yes, I am remembering now. One very important strategy to defend yourself is to limit the number of ways the enemy can attack you, and in that way making them more predictable and thus easier to defend from. So, if I am at the end of a corridor and the only way to get to me is by going through the corridor, I'm effectively setting a trap. Oh, ingenious. I believe one term that aligns with that strategy is actually the term known as bottlenecking the enemy. I don't understand why that is the name of that term. Oh yes, it is. It is, I believe, some kind of either Chinese or Japanese derived script. Although I do have an aversion to logography. There's so many symbols to memorize. So non-phonetic. Oh, it's you again. Or rather another one of you. An instance of you. And of course I'm actually leaving you here because I know that there's another weapon in this area. I have deeply rooted memories. Yes, I have plans for you. Very special plans. Oh. Ow. Wait, that defies gravity. Or physics in general, I should say. I also was not expecting that to destroy me as well. Strange. I will take note of this, this vulnerability. In retrospect, perhaps I should have expected that. Oh great, I'm back here again. At least there's no elevator music to tolerate. Oh yes, take all of the time that you need. It's not as if I have anything else to do. Now streamlining this process. Wait. Wait, I do have this... Wait, I know of a way to do this. Or, I think I do. Yes, notice lower left. The yellow icon, that is the key card. Somehow I performed some kind of time warp. Or something similar. Disregarding this anomaly. Simple problems, simple solutions. And now if I just wait for that equipment to regenerate, I will be prepared for if this happens again. But I also don't have the patience for that. Well, here again. Never mind. You don't seriously expect me to not investigate this intrigue, do you? Now, as for... Yes, I'm here again. Finally.
Access granted.
Now, as for... Oh yes, this is the local topology. What kind of moron designed an uncomfortable chair like this? Not only uncomfortable, but also completely impractical in a general sense. It doesn't even have wheels. Does it hover, perhaps? Because if it's stationary, that's even more or less practical, more unpractical. I don't think I forgot about you either. Oh, yes, this is one of those... wait. This was one of the elite guard, remember? That I studied. Yes, they have special implants, and I believe if I can... Yes. Yes, exceptional. And truly exemplary. Now... Oh, and that means I can apply... Wait, I think I actually encountered one of these previously. Oh. Oh, that explains why I already have this upgraded. I must have done that upon impulse, not thinking about it. Oh, that truly does expose how much I am truly recovering from this being trapped in a timeless void situation. Irrelevant. And there are no other options. I am saving this for later. And that is all. Of course. Am I forgetting anything? I do not believe so. Oh yes. Finally. If only I had this earlier. Now, as for this segment, the one thing I did not account for, you. Oh, at least I can do this. Oh wait, that could have been foreshadowing because it would have been visible through the grating. Never mind that. Now, as I was saying, I can do this. Excellent. And that is what that does. And it should be usable for a multitude of situations. What is the point of this area? Oh, this is the point of this area. Ah, what is this? Yes. Oh, finally. And so my options expand to 3 instead of 1. This would mitigate one problem I have been having. However, this is actually much more universally applicable, and thus more versatile, and thus more powerful. And so it is mine. Oh. Disregard my accidental accessing of my suit's more core functionalities. Now, is there anything else that I'm forgetting to remember? Never mind that. The only reason this exists is because of that temporal divergence that happened here, due to this hole here. And now there is nowhere to go but forward through this gateway.
Access granted.
Welcome to the UAC's Mars installation, located in the vast Hellas Plain impact basin. This high-tech mining and research facility is pushing the boundaries of the imagination each and every day. As a valued employee, your loyalty is more than just a commitment to the UAC. It's a commitment to the future of mankind. Thank you for your service.
Yes. 2 new gadgets at once. Oh yes, this is most pleasing indeed. Some would even say mathematical. In fact, I do like that term. Perhaps I shall be using it. Wait, there it is. Out of the way. Where are you? There you are. Ow. That was almost assured success. Now, as you have seen me demonstrate, there are special abilities that I can temporarily unlock, as it were. Here again. Also, the stun mod is quite usable for especially crowding. Now I allow them to come to me. Yes, come to me. there's only one way to come to me, and that is through this passage. I think they're intelligent enough to know to not do that. But at least I can do this. Wow. That is significantly less metal than previously, but also significantly more effective. Oh great, a waste of a power-up. Oh. Yes. Successive phase, whatever this is, of whatever plan that this is. Yes. Of course. Oh wait, this is my favorite model. Crisis averted. It's about time. I believe that's the correct
Unblocking
idiom.
your access to the facility scanner. Come to the Vega terminal, and I'll give you what you need.
Oh great. Him again. This is going to be a recurring problem, isn't it? Now do you see what I mean by the usefulness of this particular mod? And the mod itself can have mods, moddable mods. Wait, is that... yes, nested mods. Great. An ambiguous description of a mod. What is longer? Do you mean longer by 10% or longer by twice as long? And now these two new categories are unlocked. And this, of course, being one of the most important categories, especially for my style. And that appears to be everything for this sector. Wait. There may be something here, but I also do not feel like doing that. Also, there's something else I noticed in this direction. Oh, it's empty. Yes, this is the correct location. I see you. Oh yes, and that's also how you destroy the shielded ones. That is all for this area. Yes. And continue. Server rooms. And that will be all. Now, as for this, it appears to be liquid cooled as well. This. Irrelevant. I am sure that I can figure this out myself. And to verify, yes, all but one secrets revealed, all but one elite guards harvested for their praetor tokens, all but one argent cells claimed, and oh yes, I suspected this door would be unlocked. I will save the energy gun for energy gun sensitive enemies. Of course. Oh yes, and that is what I would call a weapon combo. Which, actually, thinking in retrospect, I should have been using more weapon combos. You again. Oh, and you. Yes, this will be nearly everything that is required for this sector. And... oh, you again. This area feels somewhat central. Oh yes, this must be something. I'm pretty sure that's a rare collector's item.
It's a gift. Take it. It will give you strength, help you on your journey, if you can withstand the power surge.
That would perfectly complete my scavenger hunt. Or so to speak. Yes. And now, with increased power, I can... be surprised less easily.
That is pure Argent energy you've just taken into your system. It seems to agree with you. I will unlock the remaining Argent cells within the facility for you. Vega, give him what he wants.
61,337 UAC members deceased. 81% of the facility is on lockdown. Demonic presence through the Mars installation is critical. According to the records, Dr. Hayden, the invasion originated in the Lazarus facility. It seems that a hell wave was activated, transforming 64% of all UAC employees into the creatures you see roaming throughout the facility. The rest were killed by the demons released from their holding cells by Olivia Pierce.
I feel I should apologize for what's happened here. Some of my employees took things too far. Olivia was the cause of all this, and I believe you will have to deal with her in time.
Oh.
You may not agree with our research, but know this. We exploited Hell and its resources because it was in mankind's best interest to do so. What you now see in this facility is the cost of progress. Huh. But none of that matters now.
There is an emergency in the foundry. The regulators have been destroyed and the core temperatures are now destabilizing.
They've overrun the adjacent facility. If the venting turbines aren't re-engaged, neither of us will survive the meltdown.
Of course. I have conflicting feelings. Apologizing, but then also reinstating that they're... Never mind. These thoughts are currently irrelevant. And proceed to next phase of plan. Fascinating. I'm sure Vega has something to say this time as well. Is that not correct? Vega? Never mind. This all reminds me of something that happened quite some time ago. Where am I? What is that sound? Oh. 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 Why does this feel so familiar? These glyphs. I appear to have some kind of... Ow. Oh. Oh, I appear to have this container of water. Strange. As I was saying. Finally, that hazard has been dealt with. I appear to have some kind of primitive, arcane-based weaponry. Or perhaps some kind of tool. Yes, wands. Oh yes. I recognize this style. This is magic. This one must also do something different. Oh, I can think of uses for this. is this place? Yes, interesting. It appears that these glyphs are helping me remember something, but I cannot remember precisely what. Oh. My instincts, yes, my intuition is already informing me of what to do in this instance. Gold. Fascinating. That appears to have been an explosive crate. And what is this? Yes, the water prevents inflammation. This is invisibilium. What does this do? What does this do to me? It would appear that water negates the effects of this invisibilium. There must be many things that water negates the effects of. Water must be a universal solvent of sorts. That was in barrel form this time. I do not believe it is wise to waste this water. Wise? What does the term wise even refer to? What is wisdom anyway? This is some kind of pheromone. This may be extremely powerful, or extremely dangerous, or completely irrelevant, but I wish to test. That's somewhat foreboding. Fascinating. I can also drink this. I'm not precisely sure as to what that implies, but I am sure this will make itself apparent inevitably. It would appear that every living creature in this place contains gold, and also has the ability to activate environmental objects themselves. Fascinating. I wonder what other implications this has. This is not immediately useful in this location. I can bring it to a new location. Wait, what is that? What is that thing? Wait, is that a flame elemental? You can't inflame what is unwatered. Yes, I doused you with water. Note to self. Weakness of flame elemental is water. Now I would like to refill this with some more water for later. And, ow. I do not feel well. I believe I would like to find a way to not be so injured. I have these two very cryptic liquids available. I'm not sure what use they could have to me. I also have not used this yet. For... I believe by progressing carefully, I should be capable of not being annihilated. And what is this? A new wand. I appear to have a maximum of 4 wand slots available. And many spell slots. I must be capable of transferring between them at some point. But not now. And 4 item slots. Item, that implies more than just these files of liquid. To progress vertically, I may need to... wait... This water appears to dilute this toxic sludge. Yes, making this possible. It may have already been possible, actually. Only, I do not wish to risk anything unnecessarily at this juncture. Now entering procedure, blast hole through ground. Operation success. I suspect that any damage caused to me at this point will most probably be the undoing of all of this progress. Must carefully assess situation. What does this do again? Something similar to the secondary. And there are 3 available. And that was successful in destroying that opponent. And... do not travel too quickly, for to do so would be dangerous. And do not alert these, whatever they are. This is not a place I wish to be. Further to the left, there is this blockade that can be opened with this maneuver. Yes. Utilizing the environment to my advantage. I can only assume what is beyond this barrier. There is something at the bottom of this pool of liquid oil. Mana potion. I doubt I have any use for that. There's something in that sludge as well. A wand. Currently, priority 1 is to escape into a location where I can regenerate. Is that some form of battery? I wish to know what this does. Yes. It is some form of battery. Wait. This pedestal, it has the same icon as the battery. Perhaps if I found some way to move it from there to here, it may have some form of effect. Never mind that. I may think of that later. I will assume that anything that I find in this place is hostile, though that may be somewhat presumptuous. How great, the greatest threat that I have found as of yet. The floating sludge spewers. They can make entire areas inhospitable for me. I will merely blast a hole through this weak point, unless there is something... Oh. Never mind. And what is this? Nothing. Wait, I can refill water here, because this liquid is water. Yes. That was most effective. Now continuing. It appears to continue here. And... what is this? That is an ominous name for a location. This object is titled Portal Deeper, according to my magical senses. So be it. Full health regeneration and spell refresher. Those both sound like things that I need. Oh, and this is another location where I could have refilled my water. And here it appears to be some kind of, yes, some very crude form of purchase. Oh, I can barter here for what I assume to be spells. I wish to experiment. For now, this shall be the blast charge container. Yes. This appears to be rapid, short range, and requires a recharge period. This appears to be some kind of disc projectile. Wait. What is that? What is that? What appears there? Fascinating. And what would happen if I did this? Ah. Oh, and this can sustain a small burst. I do not know what this cryptic spell is. I must be careful. This sounds as though it is something I do not wish to have. Wait, these have descriptions. Yes, someone's a sharp disc projectile, and it has stats. Fascinating. If that is true, then I wish to experiment with as many as possible, collect all of the knowledge. The knowledge, yes. I do not know what this does, or what this is. Oh. This appears to be slower, and... Wait... A spark bolt that casts another spell upon collision. If I chain this with... Oh... Wait... I can apply science and technology to magic to create unique strategies. What is this? A static magical phenomenon that casts 3 extra spells after a short while. And if I apply these together... And what if I do this? Yes, you said 3. They must coincide so closely that it is difficult to distinguish them apart. Or perhaps the 3 spells must also be in the same wand. I can also experiment with that theory now. And with this... Yes, this will... stay away from me. Yes, this is precisely what I expected, as according to the description. Now what if I do this? This is not the correct format. Perhaps if I reorder them. This is chaotic. I do not know what to expect from this. I'll remove everything from this. Store these. And as for you, you have proven to be effective with this, and you may utilize. The damage appears to be higher, and the speed appears to be lower. I believe that this should be an effective combination. Unless... Never mind. But wait, what is this? With timer. A short-lived magical bolt that casts another spell after a timer runs out. Wait. Can these... perhaps these can be chained. Oh. That was unintentional. Fascinating. What if I reorder them? Yes. And... wait. I believe these may be in the reverse order. No, wait, these are randomly executed. Oh, that's less predictable. And also less controllable. And so I would prefer to have these here, and this here, and this here. And save the others. That is sufficient. That should be enough for now. End of transmission.